Welcome back to Good Day Orlando in your Consumer Corner. It's a morbid thought, but if you're probably going to die with some debt to your name, because most people do, in fact, 73% of consumers have an average $62,000 in debt when they pass away. Don't think it goes away. A lot of it doesn't when you die. So what can you do to avoid it? Certified Financial Planner Bert joining us now in studio to talk more about it. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Andrea.
See you.
You too.
This is an interesting topic because I think a lot of people think, well, I'll just rack it all up, and when I pass away, it's all forgiven. What happens to your debts after you die?
Well, it depends on what kind of debt it is, okay? First of all, it's a debt that you have in your name alone. So if you have credit card debt, a car loan, those are subject to claims of creditors when you pass on. Now, the question is, are your creditors going to get anything? And that's a function of what you have left when you pass away. And that's really what's called your probate estate. Your probate estate is the assets that you have in your name alone, not in joint names with your spouse or someone else. It's what you have in your name alone. That will go through probate, and then it's subject to claims of creditors.
Okay, so I'm assuming that if you're sharing any of that debt, how does this become a burden for your family?
Well, if it's a joint, let's say a mortgage, okay? You pass away, you own the house with your spouse, you pass away, that mortgage will continue onto your spouse. If your spouse wants to stay in the house, he or she has to continue to make the mortgage payments. So now student debt is an interesting thing. If it's a federal student loan, it's forgiven at time of death.
Really?
If it's a private student loan through a bank, generally it's going to still be subject to claims of creditors. Right?
Okay, so let's say you've got, let's say, $10,000 left in debt, in credit card debt, maybe a student loan when you die. Who ends up paying for that?
Your estate.
Okay.
First of all, when you file your probate estate, it has to be, you have to file a notice, and you have to put the creditors on notice that you passed away. It's got to go through a process to let your creditors know you're no longer there. Your creditors then have a right to claim the assets that are in your name alone. So what you own in your name alone is subject to probate. Now, probate is not a tax. People say, I want to avoid probate, I want to avoid the tax. Probate is not a tax. Probate is the time and expense of getting your assets through the probate court and being passed on to your beneficiaries. But while it's going through probate, your creditors are looking at what's there. If they have a claim against it, then whatever's left your survivors get.
Okay, so I guess it's a matter of getting things set up before you pass away.
And what you don't want to do is leave a lot of debt.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why people have insurance. You know, this is really the primary purpose besides providing for your loved ones to provide income down the road. It's to pay off that remaining debt.
So that life insurance policy comes in handy for that kind of stuff,
that's what people use it for oftentimes, right?
Okay, great advice and great insight, Joe. Where can people find you?
Just Google me once again, 2 words, Joe Bert, B-E-R-T.
Okay, there you go.
Thanks,
Get your
Andrea.
planning all